Here is Bullet Breeze, who we've actually started calling BB, which I think is quite cute on him. And he is having his ride out in the field today. And so this is, I think, his fourth or his fifth post-track ride. This is his first real ride out in the field. On Saturday, I rode him for a couple of minutes in the ring, and then I just kind of took him for a hack all over the property. And so we sort of went for a stroll through the field, but we didn't do any trotting or cantering, and we spent more time grazing than we did anything else. But it was good for me to sort of get a read on how he felt out there, which was extremely relaxed. So today, when I got on him, I didn't bother doing anything in the ring. We just got on in the ring and then headed right out to the field, and he was wonderful. I mean, this horse is, well, let me back up. Bullet Breeze is a 16 two-hand, 6-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Golden Lad, and he ran 37 times. His last start was on May 16th, so he's about 3 weeks post his last start now, and he made 133K on the track. And so he's been here for about 2 weeks now, and he has been nothing but easygoing and wonderful. He really is a people-oriented type of horse. He just loves to interact, and he wants to know everything you're doing, and very much in your pocket type of horse. But his brain is very quiet, especially when you're riding him. He's funny. He actually has this sort of he has a very purposeful walk, which is wonderful. It's a great walk. But you could almost think, when he's sort of marching around when you first get on, you're like, wow, this horse, he just kind of gives this vibe like, oh, he's going to sort of power up in the trot and the canter. But it's hilarious because it's exactly the opposite. It's this great marching walk, and then he picks up the trot and he's like, well, it's kind of a lot of effort to keep that going into the trot, so let's just stay slow. And that's the vibe he gives, and it's wonderful. It makes him unbelievable amateur friendly, and he's going to be a super restart project for somebody because he just has this very easygoing sort of brain about him. So out in the fields, he was excellent. I mean, he didn't give a care about the traffic. Excuse me. He wasn't spooky at anything. He just very politely went around, did his job in his normal, relaxed way. In a couple of spots, like actually right up here, I had a tendency to sort of lose the right shoulder a little bit. So sometimes we would have a little drift when we were going to the left right there. And in the other direction, when we were tracking right, I would lose the left shoulder at the other end of that long side. But that's just the most sort of generic baby horse or green horse right off the track thing that you could imagine, a little bit of drifting through the outside shoulder in one particular spot. And I mean, and that's as crazy as this horse gets. I mean, he does not seem to have a silly bone in his body. He's extremely soft. I'm riding him here in a egg butt snaffle with a peanut, and he's very round, almost to the point where I encourage him to be a little bit up off the bridle, because here is sort of where he wants to go, like on almost no contact. There's like a feather's weight in each hand. He's so light and soft, and he really wants to be round, which is wonderful. I want him to be able to sort of manage his own balance and carry himself, with his pole up and his nose out, before he gets sort of buried in the bridle. So I want him to be able to manage his own balance without relying on me before we sort of worry about, well, I would not worry at all about getting this horse around. He will just naturally get there on his own because that's where he wants to go. So to me, it's important that he is able to go around sort of up off the bridle, relying on himself, not so much on me. And he did an excellent job of that. Of course, he wants to be round. It's very obvious. But what I don't want, sometimes with these really soft horses, you have to be careful that they don't want to get a little bit like nose to chest or behind the vertical. So I'm riding him on a super, super loose, light contact. And he's just happy as a clam to sort of march around like that. I think he is moving very well. The longer he's here, the better he moves. He actually just graduated to field turnout. So he's out in one of the big grass fields with another gelding right now who he gets on really well with. And so he's certainly an easy one to have turned out. He's really happy out there. And no doubt it's really good for both brain and body for him to have graduated to big field turnout. He actually did some really nice canter work out here also, and that's towards the end of the video. So right here, when we're tracking to the right, as we come around this corner, this is where I tend to lose that outside shoulder. You can see right there, the head kind of goes up. We're drifting to the outside. So that was the loss of straightness through the outside shoulder. And then here's really nice work down this long side alongside the road. You know, the fence acts as a really nice guide rail here. And he's just super relaxed, no worries about the road, the traffic, any of that. So it's really easy to just ride him on a light, loose rein there. And again, I really like this picture here, tracking back now to the left. You know, he's very soft and round, but I like that the poll is out and the nose is just a little bit out in front of him. Now this part of the field right here is a little bit of a downhill incline, so they kind of have to sort of slow down and really think about sitting back on their butts a little bit so they don't kind of go careening down this hill and land in a heap down here at the bottom. I thought his canter felt the best by far that it's felt out here in the field. I love the shape he wanted to make in the bridle. Again, he stays very straight, very soft, all the things, just absolutely beautifully, beautiful neck set on this horse. And when he softens, which is what he wants to do anyway, it just makes a gorgeous frame. So I'm sort of alternating back and forth between having sort of a light seat contact and being in a half seat, depending on where I feel he kind of needs my help for some balance or not. But I love his rhythm, his tempo, all the things here. He's relaxed. He's sort of self-regulating. It just all feels very nice. Especially lovely there. So then we took a little walk break. And so the right canter has been his hardest thing. I shouldn't say the right canter. Cantering to the right is not hard for him. Picking up the right lead has been harder for him. And so I sort of cheated and used the log there to get the lead, which wasn't the most graceful thing in the world. Not that I would expect it to be. But anyway, on we go. We get the right lead, and then once he's actually in that lead, he's very symmetrical to the left. He's quite straight, he's balanced, he's soft, he's all the things. And I do sort of just feel like, he's making this look very easy. Like, yeah, why wouldn't you be able to have a handful of post-track rides and just come out here and glide around in the field? But it's not always this easy. And he really just sort of lets me showcase what a lovely horse he is. But it's not always normal for horses to be sort of this relaxed and rideable out in this big field when they're so soon off the track.